Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at FabGuys.com. It's this UK-based dating platform aimed at gay and bisexual men. Our sort of mission here is to figure out what makes it different, who's it really for, and where it fits in the whole online dating scene for men.
Exactly. And we're getting our info straight from the source. Well, kind of. We're looking at how FabGuys is presented on MenMeetMen.com. So it's how the platform itself is being described and discussed there.
Right. And MenMeetMen.com, which looks like a guide to, well, discreet ways of meeting.
Yeah.
It has this tagline for Fab Guys right up front. It says, Fab Guys, free gay dating site for real connections in the UK.
Yeah.
Pretty direct. What jumps out at you there?
Well, the free and real connections part, specifically for the UK, MenMeetMen.com actually calls it a 100% free gay and bi men's dating platform based in the UK. And they mention it started way back in 2010.
2010. Wow, that's quite established then.
It is. And they explicitly say it was set up as an alternative to pay-to-play dating apps. That really sets the stage, doesn't it? It's saying, right away, we're not like those subscription apps.
Okay, let's dig into that free part. Their main thing seems to be offering a straightforward and anonymous way to connect online. And crucially, for both casual or meaningful connections. So not just one thing.
No, not boxing itself in. And that mix, casual and meaningful, on a free site, it's interesting. You wonder how they attract both. Maybe just being around since 2010 means they've naturally gathered a diverse crowd over time, different people looking for different things.
So that makes sense. They also make a big deal about being different. No download required, no subscriptions, and no nonsense. That first one, no download required, that feels pretty significant today with apps everywhere. Who does that target, do you think?
Oh, definitely. The no download thing means you just use your web browser. So no app store, no phone storage used, and maybe most importantly for some, no app icon sitting on your phone screen.
Ah, right. Discretion.
Exactly. It speaks directly to people who value privacy or maybe just prefer, the web interface over an app.
Yeah, they actually say it's popular with folks who like using desktop or mobile browsers without a dedicated app. So if you're someone who prefers typing on a keyboard, maybe?
Precisely. Or maybe users who just don't like the constant notifications and the whole swipe, swipe, swipe thing. A browser site can feel a bit more deliberate, perhaps.
And it seems they've built up a reputation, at least according to MenMeetMen.com, for having a loyal user base of real people. People who want to skip the endless swiping and just have honest, no-frills communication.
That phrase, loyal user base, is telling.
What do you think makes them loyal? Is it just that it's been free for so long?
I think the free access and the longevity have to be huge factors. If you like the simple approach and there's no cost, why leave? And no frills communications suggests people there might value, actual conversation over the gamified bits some apps have.
Okay, so drilling down, why pick Fab Guys? Number one is obviously it's totally free. Core stuff like messaging, browsing profiles, zero cost. That's got to be tempting when everything else wants a subscription, right?
It's a massive plus. Free access just opens the door to everyone, removes that financial hurdle you get elsewhere.
And then that discretion point again. Being browser-based means no obvious app icon. If you need to keep things private, that's a big advantage.
Yeah, it caters to people who, for whatever reason, want to keep their dating life separate from their main phone apps. It's just a different level of control over your digital footprint.
Makes sense. And no app means you can just log in from anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Any computer, tablet.
Exactly. If you're traveling, you don't need to install anything new. That flexibility is pretty user-friendly, especially if you're not glued to your smartphone 24/7.
They also boast about a wide UK user base. Apparently, it's strong even in smaller towns and areas that might be underserved by major apps. So if you're not in a big city,
That could be a real draw. In places with smaller LGBTQ plus communities, an older site like FabGuys might genuinely have more local people on it than newer, maybe more city-focused apps. Suggests they've built up a pretty wide network across the UK.
okay, let's talk features. What can you actually do there? They mention customizable profiles, public photos, private ones, text descriptions, stats. That split between public and private photos seems quite intentional.
It's smart, yeah. Lets you show something initially, but keep more personal pics back until you trust someone. It sort of mirrors how you might share things gradually in real life, building intimacy.
Good point. And location search, obviously key. They use postcodes or town names, so finding guys nearby or even checking out who's around if you're going somewhere else in the UK.
That postcode search is pretty standard but vital for making actual meetups happen, which seems to be the goal. It lets you get quite specific within the UK.
And there's private messaging. You can message directly, block people, flag stuff, control who contacts you, all the basic tools you'd expect for, managing things and feeling safe.
Essential stuff. Blocking and flagging are important. Lets the users themselves help keep the place, well, reasonably well behaved.
They also have a photo gallery feature, again with that public-private split. MenMeetMen says they framed this privacy control as a way to build trust. I think that's quite insightful.
It shows they understand users might feel a bit vulnerable putting themselves out there, and they're trying to address that by giving users control over their images.
Okay, now this is interesting. A site-wide live chat room. They admit it can be hit or miss, which is reframingly honest. What's the deal with chat rooms on dating sites generally?
Chat rooms. They can be a real mixed bag, like they said. Good for instant chat with lots of people, maybe a sense of community. You might find someone interesting you wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Yeah.
But they can also be chaotic, superficial, maybe not great for finding a deep connection. So yeah, hit or miss sounds about right. Their honesty is good, though.
And lastly, they highlight the desktop-friendly interface. Simple, functional, makes sense if they're targeting people who prefer typing on a keyboard.
Yeah, if you find phone typing fiddly or just prefer writing longer messages on a computer, this would appeal. It also fits that idea of maybe a less always-on experience than a phone app demanding attention.
So pulling all that together, who is FabGuys actually best for? They say gay and bi men looking for genuine local connections. That word genuine is interesting on a free site. What fosters that potentially?
Well, maybe the combination of needing a text description in your profile plus the browser interface, it might encourage people to be a bit more thoughtful, less impulsive than just swiping on pics, more space to say who you are, potentially leading to better matches.
They also call out older users or just anyone who doesn't like mobile apps. That's a group that can feel a bit left behind sometimes.
Definitely a key differentiator. Not everyone wants an app for everything. FabGuys gives them a solid alternative, accessible from pretty much any device with a browser.
And men in rural areas or smaller cities, because of that potentially wider UK reach we talked about.
Yeah, if you're outside London or Manchester, it might genuinely offer more local options than some other platforms.
And then, no surprise, discreet users.
Okay.
Because it's browser-based, no app icon.
Right. That lack of a visible app is a clear privacy benefit for some people. Lets them engage without that constant visual reminder on their phone.
And they even suggest it's suitable for married or curious men who prefer low-key platforms. That's quite specific. What's the appeal there, do you think?
Well, for guys in that situation, the browser access, the potential for more anonymity and how you set up your profile, it probably offers a level of discretion that feels safer than a very public app profile. Low-key suggests a space where maybe interactions are handled more cautiously.
They keep coming back to this idea of connection over instant gratification. It sets a tone, doesn't it? Suggests it's not just about quick hookups, even if those are possible.
It's a critical distinction. It implies maybe a different pace, different expectations than some platforms known purely for speed. Focus on connection hints at wanting something more substantial, even if it starts casually.
Okay, safety. Always vital. FabGuys gives some advice via MenMeetMen. First up, use those private photo settings. Control your visibility.
Basic but fundamental. You decide who sees what. Build trust, step by step.
They also say verify people before meeting. Suggest video calls, maybe swapping more photos. Sounds like common sense, but worth repeating.
Absolutely. A quick video chat can really help confirm someone's who they say they are, builds confidence before you actually meet up.
And the classic advice, meet in public first time. Neutral ground, safer environment.
Always smart for a first meeting. Takes the pressure off being in a private space with someone you only know online.
And obviously, don't share personal or financial details early on. Universal online safety rule.
Critical. Protect yourself from scams or worse. Keep private info private until you've built real trust.
Trust your instincts too, they say. And report dodgy behavior. Your gut feeling is often right.
So important. If something feels wrong, pay attention. And reporting bad actors helps keep the community safer for everyone.
And they do have tools. Blocking users, message filters, flagging accounts. Good to know those mechanisms exist.
Yeah, these give you some control over who you interact with and what you see. Being able to block and flag is empowering.
Now, MenMeetMen draws a comparison between FabGuys and what they call its sister site, Fab Swingers. Let's quickly clear that up.
Ah, yes, understanding the difference is helpful because they cater to quite different crowds, even though they're related.
So Fab Guys, gay dating, hookups, men connecting with other men only, no app, free, focus is clear.
Exactly. Target audience. Gay and bi men looking for one-on-one connections, casual or serious, free, browser-based.
Fab Swingers, though. That's for swinging, couples, group stuff, all genders welcome. Also no app, also free, but the target is swingers of all stripes. Very different vibe.
Totally different. The core is the relationship setup. Fab Guys is individual guys meeting. Fab Swingers is couples and groups.
Got it. So solo meetups, head to Fab Guys. Group or couple action, Fab Swingers might be the place. Just depends what you're looking for.
It shows how platforms specialize, right? Carving out niches for specific interests and relationship styles.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room for any dating site.
Huh?
Catfishing, fake profiles. Men mentions this risk on Fab Guys too. It's just something you always need to be aware of online.
It's just an unfortunate part of the internet landscape. Being savvy about the signs is key to staying safe. Just gotta be observant.
They give some decent tips for spotting them, like watch out for photos that look too perfect, almost like stock images. They even suggest doing a reverse image search. That's practical.
That's a great tip. If the photo pops up all over the place with different names or looks like it's from an ad, huge red flag.
Also, profiles that seem too good to be true. If someone's claims or super intense interest feel off early on, trust that feeling.
Definitely. If someone seems like a supermodel, doctor, astronaut who instantly falls for you, maybe be a bit skeptical. Real connections usually take a bit more time.
And a big one, if they refuse to video chat.
Yeah.
Always making excuses. There's usually a reason, right? And it's probably not a good one.
Yeah, video chat is a pretty simple way to verify someone's real. If they consistently dodge it, that's a major warning sign. Should make you question things.
And finally, if someone tries to push you off Fab Guys onto WhatsApp or something else really quickly, scammers often try that.
Right, they might want to get you away from the platform's moderation or make it harder to track them if they're up to no good. Genuine people usually don't rush that.
MenMeetMen actually recommends checking out their own full guide on catfishing prevention. Sounds like a useful read if you're considering using the site.
Yeah, offering resources like that shows they're trying to educate users on safety, which is always good.
Okay, so if someone does decide to try Fab Guys, how can they make it work better for them? MenMeetMen has tips. First, complete your profile properly. Photos, face pic if you're okay with it, a decent bio, clear headline. Apparently, more detail gets more responses. Makes sense, put some effort in.
A full profile just gives people a better idea of who you are and what you want, makes it easier for the right people to find you, and sparks better conversations.
Being specific about interests helps too, right? Easier to find common ground. If you like sci-fi films or mountain biking, say so.
Totally. Specifics give people something to grab onto, a reason to message you. Hey, I like mountain biking too is way better than hi.
And stay active. Log in regularly. Search results are often sorted by who was online recently. Shows you're actually using it.
Yeah, being active signals you're serious, makes your profile more visible. Simple as that.
They also warn against copy-pasting messages. Big turnoff. Personalize it. Mention something from their profile. Shows you actually read it.
Oh, massively important. Generic messages just scream low effort. Referencing their profile shows genuine interest and gets way better results.
And finally, be upfront about what you're looking for. Chat, meet now, casual, something else. Honesty avoids confusion later.
Yeah, setting expectations early saves everyone time and hassle. Make sure you're both roughly on the same page about intentions.
So let's wrap up this deep dive on Fab Guys. What's the final verdict from MenMeetMen?
Basically, if you're fed up with apps, want discretion, or just prefer the old school web approach, it's worth a look.
It definitely fills a niche. Free, browser-based, UK-focused. It's an alternative for people who don't connect with the mainstream app scene or really value privacy.
They stress it's completely free, browser-based, and tailored for UK gay and bi guys. That specific focus seems core to its identity.
And that focus can be powerful. Catering to a specific group in a specific area can build a more relevant, engaged community than huge global platforms sometimes manage.
They admit it might lack the flashy bells and whistles, but they praise the loyal users, the straightforward connections, and what they call a refreshingly honest approach. Maybe simplicity is the selling point for some.
Could be. Sometimes just doing the basics well is more appealing than tons of features you don't use. That honest approach suggests a user base that values directness. Important disclaimer, though. MenMeetMen notes they aren't affiliated with FabGuys.com. So you should always check the official Fab Guys site for the absolute latest info and rules.
Good transparency. It adds credibility that they're giving an independent take and reminds users to check the primary source.
And we saw MenMeetMen covers more than just Fab Guys, right? They have sections on discrete adult venues, talking about real-world places. Sections on real connections offering total privacy, which seems a big theme. Advice on best ways to meet men near you, even mentioning specific places like Leeds. They're thinking broader than just websites.
Yeah, it positions Men Meet Men as more of a general guide to different ways guys connect. Acknowledging online is just one part of it.
They've got stuff like prefer to stay private
Mm.
and don't like apps, really leaning into those different preferences. They even mention gyms, cruising spots, covers a whole spectrum of options.
It highlights that there's no single right way to meet people, right? Different strokes for different folks. It's about finding what fits you.
And those audio guides they have, start listening. Quick guides for curious men. Topics like meeting discreetly, cruising versus apps, hookup FAQs. Seems like they're trying to be a pretty comprehensive resource.
Offering audio is smart too. Different ways to get info. Shows they're trying to answer a lot of the common questions guys might have around this stuff.
So yeah, MenMeetMen positions itself as a trusted guide to navigating the world of discrete gay connections. FabGuys is just one tool in that toolbox they highlight, especially for that UK free browser-using crowd.
Exactly. They're providing context, showing different paths, and FabGuys fits in as a specific example of a platform that offers accessibility, privacy, and maybe a more traditional online feel.
Okay, so summing up our FabGuys deep dive. It's free, uses a browser, not an app, focuses on the UK gay community, and aims for genuine connections, prioritizing discretion.
Yeah, it carves out its own space, really. Offers a solid alternative to the often overwhelming app-centric dating world, especially if you value privacy or just prefer that simpler web-based experience.
Which brings us to a final thought. We've talked about FabGuys, apps, real-world meetings, all these different ways to connect. It makes you wonder, in today's world, with all this tech, what actually defines a real connection for you personally? Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.